So before the video starts, I just want to get a quick disclaimer for everyone out there today. I do not hate you if you enjoy Spyro Reignited. I do not dislike you as a person for having an opinion on the game that isn't mine. And if you do enjoy Spyro Reignited, then, you know, good on you. I'm very glad you could actually enjoy something that I couldn't. Personally, I have a lot of problems with the game, and I will state them now. If you do not enjoy negative opinions towards Spyro Reignited, I suggest you please click off the video now while you can, because I will be saying a lot of things that you may not like about the game. So, all things said, enjoy the video. I have been a huge fan of Spyro as long as I can remember. I have played all three of the original Spyro games, and even the terrible Legend of Spyro series. So when I heard that the new remake of the original three games was coming very soon, I was excited as hell. I remember watching the original reveal trailer over and over and over, trying to pick out every detail. Now, it's 2019. The game is well over 2 months old. I have a lot to say about this game and why it was a disappointment, in my personal opinion. I will be covering three different things in this review: gameplay and performance, art direction and music, and basically the final verdict and what I personally think happened behind the development of the game. The gameplay, I actually genuinely enjoyed when I played Spyro 2. The new right stick analog control is pretty good with the camera. I didn't really have too many problems with it. And there actually is a reason I left out Spyro 3, which I will get to in a second. I do have problems with the hover in 2 and 3, how it can sometimes be a pain, since it no longer relies on having a longer glide and just kind of has the full hover in a very short time period, or just very short gliding period. In Spyro 1, I do enjoy this small mini hover that you get when you get close to a platform. It can kind of save your life in a lot of situations. And yeah, I will get to the point I was talking about a couple seconds ago with Spyro 3. The other characters, they feel like shit, in my opinion. I just can't play the other characters in Spyro 3. Sheila just feels sluggish, difficult to control in some parts of the game, and the bomb carry mission in Spyro 3, I think in Spooky Swamp, was just fucking unbearable. Bentley feels very sluggish, feels slower than he did in the original Spyro 3, making completing stages faster just a fucking pain. He now has and now to the character I actually did enjoy, which was Sergeant Byrd. I enjoyed his homing missiles, made gameplay really a lot easier, which is a good thing. I didn't like Sergeant Byrd in Spyro 3 that much. He was kind of hard to, navigate and use. But in this new game, definitely a lot better. I actually do prefer it over the original, which is a first for this game, actually. But yeah, I'm just not going to talk about Agent 9. I didn't play up to Agent 9, I'm not going to lie. I just don't want to finish Spyro 3 just because it doesn't feel like... I was just bored, kind of, when I played it. I'll let you guys know about that in the final verdict, though. But yeah, now to one of the worst parts of this game, and that is the performance. Now, before I get into this part, I just want to say I'm not a frame rate snob. I don't, expect, if the game runs at a consistent 30 frames per second and, doesn't drop frame rate at all, then I'm fine. If it runs at 60... I'm not gonna say that's like, oh, that's an achievement or anything, but all games should generally run at 60 frames per second, but if it has to go to 30, if they can try to make it work, then that's fine. This, it's awful. The frame rate drops from 30 frames per second to 20 or even lower, just by doing things like flaming enemies, charging enemies, just doing anything normal in game can just drop the frame rate. It's awful. It's probably some of the worst frame rate drops I've seen in any PlayStation game. So the original art direction of the first three Spyro games is some of the best I've actually seen in basically almost any platformer I've played. It's really appealing to the eye in terms of an actual art direction. They knew what they wanted to do with it, and it was really well executed. especially for the hardware restrictions they actually had for the time. So really well done. But in Reignited, I don't really get that from playing Reignited. It looks kind of like a generic Unreal Engine test, if that makes any sense. It looks plasticky. It doesn't really fit the art style of the original 3 games, in my opinion, and it isn't great. But the character redesigns in this game are actually pretty bad as well. I'm not a big fan of a lot of them. Professor and Sheila and Alora are some of the worst, in my opinion. They just don't really fit the characters and their personalities from the originals, just those designs. And that's kind of goes for almost all the redesigns in these 3. They're just not really good. The dragons are okay, I guess. A lot of them can feel familiar, even though they tried going for them being unique. And then on top of that, you have the inconsistent art direction of all 3 of the games. In Spyro 2, Spyro 1, Spyro 2, and Spyro 3, they all have almost completely different looking kinds of art styles or graphics, and it's kind of inconsistent and weird, and especially it's inconsistent when a lot of the games were outsourced. It just doesn't look great. But if you were to play Reignited, I'd basically just buy it for Spyro 1, because that's what I bought it for. But the art direction of Spyro 1 Reignited is very solid. I enjoyed how it looked generally. I didn't really have too many problems. Dark Hollow is probably is actually my favorite looking Reignited stage. And probably one of my favorite looking Spyro stages in general. It's a very, very good looking stage. It's very appealing to the eye. It's graphically impressive to look at. It's a great looking stage, and I think they did a good job on Dark Hollow and a lot of the stages in Spyro 1. But Spyro 2 and 3, on the other hand, are very pale in comparison to Spyro 1, and they obviously look rushed in terms of how it looks and kind of art direction. So Spyro 1 is just kind of what I came there for, and I got something good out of it. So there's something there for art direction. So I'm not a big fan of the dragon redesigns though. And the music of the original games is here, but it's not the way you think it is. The remade music, or the remake music, I don't know, however the fuck you call it, it's okay. I think it's bearable. I just don't think it's even close to what Copeland could do. Even the opening theme, which was composed and made by Copeland, isn't even that great. And it seems like just having the original music in the game would have been a better idea instead of remaking an entire OST. But, they do have the option for the original music, and there's actually a chance it is actually higher quality. It's like studio quality, so that's great. So at least we get something great from the music there from Reignited, which I thank them for. And that's basically it for this section of the video. That is art direction and music. So my final verdict on this game, I think it was bearable. I didn't think it was as bad as Insane Trilogy did in terms of like its art and art direction in some of the places, but it did pale in comparison to the original in a lot of the places in terms of the gameplay and in terms of the art direction and in terms of the music. It just didn't live up. I don't think it's worth the $40 price point at all. I just think that those other games... Actually, I think it's worth it just for Spyro 1, to be honest. I think that game is just worth the $40, but I don't think 2 and 3 are worth it. They don't seem like they're complete. And I feel like they were just like... Spyro 1 was what they put all their passion into, but then like Spyro 2 and 3, they outsourced, and it was just kind of a mess. I don't think you guys should buy it personally. I suggest you wait for a sale until it goes like $20 or a little below, or until a PC port comes out, and so we can fix this kind of stuff. But that's basically it. I want to thank you guys for watching. This video has been kind of difficult to make. I've had to re-record stuff, unless the original video, because of terrible video quality and such. But this is probably the last recording I'm going to do for this, so I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch this video. and everyone have a wonderful day.